What's up, YouTube? Franchise Sports TV back again with another video. And today, I'm probably gonna keep these 2 episodes a week or 2 episodes every 2 weeks so I can keep it going as well up until the beginning of the season. But today is another episode of Top 5 Players of All Time on all 30 teams, including the best player. So, to recount who I did so far, and not in any order, I have done recently the Spurs, Denver Nuggets, Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns, and Milwaukee Bucks. So far. So the series, I'll just pick out the top 5 players who ever played for that team. This time it will be the Charlotte Hornets. The team originated in the late 80s. And this one was kind of harder than I thought it would be. Because for one, I thought seriously Chris Paul was part of the Charlotte Hornets all-time roster. But he is not actually. I don't know why I thought he would be part of the Charlotte Hornets. Even though he was drafted by the Hornets when he was in New Orleans. But I guess all the New Orleans Hornets records and history dates back to when it was in New Orleans. It doesn't date back to when it was Hornets. So I don't know why I didn't know that at first. So weird. But this one's a little bit harder to come up with. But these are all my own opinion as well. I put these players on here due to their influence on the team and what they have done for the team. And also individually as well. And shockingly, the Charlotte Hornets, I think they only had one number retire. I think that's Bobby Fields. What was Bobby? Was he a forward? I think he was a forward that, let's see here. I think he passed away in 1998 or not. Let me see here, just to make sure. Right quick. But as I look for that, I'm also on Rumble as FSTV22, so check me out on Rumble as well. Yeah, it was Bobby Fields. He died in 2000 car accident. So that's the only number that got retired so far. And he was a guard, not a forward. I remember when that happened. 9 years old when that happened. But yeah, cut down his prime. But yeah, let's get to it. So like I said, this one was a little bit harder than I thought. As we all know, the Charlotte Hornets only been around since 1988 to 2000. Then they became the Charlotte Bobcats from 2014 becoming the Hornets once again. Which is so weird to me. But Chris Paul is not on the all-time list. Because the Hornets, they was the New Orleans Hornets up until 2014, I think it was. Before they came, no, was it 2012? Let's see here. Before I get in, I can't believe that. I can't believe that, though. I look at the New Orleans Pelicans all-time roster. It is not very long at all. Not at all. But yeah, Chris Paul is considered to be a Pelican. Part of the Pelicans book. But anyways, enough about that. So starting at center for the top 5 all-time list for the Charlotte Hornets is Alonzo Mourning. I was trying to figure out who was the best center who ever played for the Charlotte Hornets. Because Charlotte Hornets do have a very short, not so long history. It's only been at least since 1988. And they're part of that expansion team during that time. But I had to pick Alonzo Mourning. He was a player from the Charlotte Hornets from 1992 to 1995 before he went to the Miami Heat in 95. But he was an NBA. Shoot, I can't even say he was an NBA champion. He was not an NBA champion with the Hornets. He was an NBA champion with the Heat. But from 94 to 90, 96, I believe. He was an all-star for the Charlotte Hornets. Most of his, man, most of his accomplishments came later in his career after he left the Hornets, which is wild to me. But in the end, he averaged 17 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks, and he is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So he is at center in his short time in Charlotte. At power forward, I had to put Larry Johnson. The thing about the Charlotte Hornets, most of their top players or famous players only played for the team very little time before they got shipped off to somewhere else. But Larry Johnson, the 6'7" guard from UNLV, was drafted 91. He was the first overall pick in 91 by the Charlotte Hornets. But I could say, if you think about the Charlotte Hornets as well, you think that pinstripe jersey, you think Larry Johnson, or even Baron Davis, you're a little bit younger, like my age. But Larry Johnson was a 2-time All-Star for the Charlotte Hornets. He was part of the NBA second team, which was rookie year for them. And he was an NBA rookie first team as well. He only played for the Hornets from 91 to 96 before going to the Knicks. And he became he became another legendary player on that team. But during his career, he averaged 16.2 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. He is not in the Hall of Fame, but he is in the College Basketball Hall of Fame as well. I don't want to count up his college, but he was big time in college, no doubt. Won a championship with the UNLV Running Rebels in 90, I think it was. Was it 90? Shoot, was it 90? Shoot, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was 90. 1990 when they won it. Running Rebels won it. But, yeah. I put him there at the power forward position. Like I said, the Hornets roster, all-time roster, gets very sketchy at some times. But Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning played with each other. It's probably they played with Alonzo. Like I said, Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson played with Muggsy Bogues and Stephen Curry's dad, Dale Curry, and that was pretty much, you could say, the height of the Charlotte Hornets' popularity during the mid '90s. Because LJ, during that time, Larry Johnson became known as Grandmama due to those Converse commercials back in the day. Which was also featured on the cover of Slam. I think it was the first cover of Slam. But also with the Hornets, he signed the most lucrative contract in NBA history at 12-year, $84 million. Damn, with the Hornets. But as like I said, we all know he got traded to. Was he traded to the Knicks? I think he was. Yeah, it was traded to the Knicks for Anthony Mason, because Alonzo Mourning was traded to Miami for Glenn Rice. But at the small forward position, it's so hard to put this at the small forward position, but I probably had to put Anthony Mason on that list. Rest in peace to Anthony Mason. He played for the Charlotte Hornets from 96 to 2000. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting confused with his New York years. But yeah, he played on the Charlotte Hornets from 96 to 2000 as part of that trade for Larry Johnson to get on there. He pretty much played power forward, small forward, but he was a bruiser and he did not play at all. I remember when he was on the Bucks. Then he spent the last 2 years with the Bucks, and then he became All-Star with Miami. But yeah, he did not play. He was tough, one of those tough guys that I can remember. He only averaged 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. So I have him at the small forward position. Man, I'm just thinking about the flashbacks when he was on Milwaukee. He's big. It's also, he can possibly be a triple-double machine as well. I think he had a career high of 31 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. So he wasn't no joke. At the shooting guard position for the Hornets, this is when it gets real murky. But Jamal Mashburn, even you remember Jamal Mashburn. He played, what years did he play for the Charlotte? He played for the Charlotte Hornets actually in the early 2000s. So they separate him. He was also went to the Hornets when they went to New Orleans too, but he played for the Hornets. This is so confusing how they just decide to separate that with the Pelicans and the Hornets. But according to history, the history books, he played for the Charlotte Hornets from 2000 to 2002. Originally, he was drafted by the Dallas Mavericks in '93. He was part of that it was a Jason Kidd, Jim Jackson team in Dallas too, as well. That didn't end well because he's beefing over women. But when he was on the Charlotte Hornets, actually before he went to Charlotte, he went to Miami. I think he was traded for he was traded to the Hornets for Eddie Jones and Anthony Mason. Wow. Along with P.J. Brown. I could have put P.J. Brown there. I don't think he was better than Alonzo Mourning. But Jamal Mashburn was responsible for that team that in 2001 that took my Milwaukee Bucks to 7 games in an epic 7-game series in 2001. I think that team had Baron Davis, David Wesley. I think P.J. Brown was on that team. I think he was on that team. I'm trying to figure who else was on that team. I know those David Wesley, Baron Davis, and Jamal Mashburn, were the big part of that team. But I can't think of who else was on that team. But Mashburn, during his years with the Charlotte Hornets, he did average 20 points his first year. That was a 2001 season. And then the second year, he averaged 21 again. No, 21.5. Trying to do this late. But he got one All-Star. That's when he was on the New Orleans Hornets. This is so freaking confusing. But anyways, for that playoffs, I think he averaged, for that playoffs, the 2001 playoffs, actually averaged a 24.9 points per game. Yeah, he was their leading scorer for most of that in 10 games. But they got kicked out by the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 in the epic series. He only played 1 game in the next playoffs, and I think he got hurt. I think he might have got hurt. Yeah, he was injury plagued that season, that 2001-2002 season. But I had to put Jamal Mashburn at shooting guard. But at the point guard position, I put Baron Davis. The younger kids might know Baron Davis, maybe on Golden State. But Baron Davis was a beast when he was on the Charlotte Hornets. He was the 1999's first-round third overall pick by the Charlotte Hornets. He played from the Charlotte Hornets from 1999 to 2002. He also did play for the New Orleans Hornets from 2002 to 2005. Baron Davis, we all know, probably had one of the best handles that ever graced the court. Man, he was quick too, fast too. Get to the basket when he was younger, as I remember. He was actually great. I think most of his career was actually great watching him play. He just had so many moves and ways to get to the basket. Unfortunately, his career ended in the NBA abruptly with that, I think it was a knee patella injury, when he was on the Knicks in 2012. But How many points did he average when he was on Charlotte? For most of his time at Charlotte, for his rookie year, not so much. He only averaged 5.9. But as he continued to progress in his NBA career, I think he was for most of his Charlotte, I'm just gonna count the Charlotte Hornets part. His last year in Charlotte, he averaged 18.1. The year when he went to the semifinals against the Bucks, he was 13.8. But yeah, he progressively got better when he was on the New Orleans Hornets, and everybody knows him for, like I said, for his Golden State years as well. That 2001 playoffs, he averaged 17.8, 5 assists, 2 steals, 4 rebounds. And the next playoffs, he averaged 22.6, got even better. I think he had to take more of a scorer load because Jamal Mashburn did get hurt. He averaged, like I said, 22.6, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. And also he was a 2-time All-Star as well with them. Well, I don't know how to count that anymore. But anyways, that's rounding out the top 5. Now, the best player who ever played for the Charlotte Hornets. Is where it gets difficult. It's kind of hard. I'm sure some young ones here. LaMelo Ball. No, LaMelo Ball is nowhere close to me on this list. He hasn't done anything. Same thing with Kemba Walker. You know, he was big for him, but can't pick Kemba Walker on there. It's kind of hard to pick the best player. This team, if we just count according to the record books and how they list the Charlotte Hornets, if you just keep it at the Charlotte Hornets, it's kind of hard. But I would have to say it would be Alonzo Mourning to be the best player they ever had on their team. I seriously thought, not to repeat myself, I seriously thought the New Orleans Hornets would be part of that history for the Charlotte Hornets, but I guess not. In that case, it would probably be Chris Paul. But yeah, I had to pick Alonzo Mourning as the best player for the Charlotte Hornets that ever played for them at this moment in time. Now, if things didn't go as planned for the Lakers, it might have been Kobe Bryant. But anyways, that's pretty much round out my list. So let me recap before I leave off. Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Anthony Mason, Jamal Mashburn, and Baron Davis. And if I had to say the best player that ever played for the Charlotte Hornets, Alonzo Mourning. And I do have to say, Charlotte Hornets did have one of the best jerseys in the 90s with the pinstripes. I also like that purple they had at one point in time too. And now they retrying to do it with this team now they got, but it ain't the same. It just ain't the same. But anyways, tell me